Hilton brings you new ways to stay, with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
I'm Dr. Sky, welcoming you to the Dr. Sky Experience, exclusively here at Talk Radio 77 WABC, the iconic radio station, the crown jewel of radio, as we talk with you about great events from the realms of astronomy, space, aviation, and weather with the Dr. Sky Experience. First, a Happy New Year to each and every one of you as we move rapidly into January of 2023. Here on America's iconic radio station, WABC, out of New York City to the world and beyond. We begin with January Skies 2023. And did you know the interesting time ball that drops every year as we herald in a new year from Times Square has an interesting history behind it? What is the history of the time ball? We go back in time and look to a Royal Navy officer known as Robert Wauchope. He developed the time ball back around the year 1818 as he became interested in developing a method for signaling from an observatory to ships so the exact time could be set on their chronometers on board so they could navigate around the world. Once again, things that I thought you'd like to know as we move into the new year. With precise time, but the Earth's changing rotation speed is a subject we'll talk about in future Dr. Sky episodes and what we do about it. Because we rely so much with our modern systems today, with computers, aviation, and so much more about progress here in our world. But we begin with Earth's nearest neighbor, the moon. And as we open up January 2023 skies, we find the moon to be a waxing gibbous moon, moving rapidly on to its full phase. That takes place on the 6th with the full wolf moon. On the date of the 8th, the moon is at apogee. That is the farthest position away from us. And then we find out that the moon moves on to last quarter as it continues to wane by the 15th of January. The new moon, or the dark of the moon, a great time, in my opinion, to view many of the sky objects if you have a clear view of the sky and good weather to do it, the new moon on the 21st. Also on that date, the moon is at a position we call perigee, which means it's closest to the Earth. Then we find the moon moving on as a waxing crescent, visible low in the southwestern part of the sky, just after sunset. Then the sky show gets better, ladies and gentlemen, as we see many conjunction of planets here in our skies on this particular Dr. Sky Experience, our particular episode here, as we talk about the Dr. Sky episode and update number 12. Did you also know that on January the 4th, the Earth is closest to the Sun at a distance of some 91,403,034 miles? That's right. And you may wonder, if we're closest to the Earth, how come it's so cold? Well, that has a lot to do with the inclination and tip of the Earth's axis, some 23.5 degrees. And from simple science, we know that during the winter, we tip away from the sun in the northern hemisphere, while the southern hemisphere is bathed in sunlight. Also on the corollary side, on July 4th or so, near exact date, the Earth itself is farthest away from the sun, and we experience that at a distance of 94,506,364 miles. The difference between the two is an incredible 3,103,330 miles. You may be wondering why the difference, and that is due to the Earth's orbit, which is pretty much an egg-shaped orbit, unlike planets like Venus that have a nearly circular orbit. That I thought you'd like to know. Also, for other interesting events, if sky watchers have an opportunity in the early morning hours of the 4th and you have dark skies, the annual quadranted meteor shower takes place. But you better be on time, because this particular meteor shower lasts with a peak of only a few hours, and unfortunately the nearly full moon will wash out many of the bright meteors. Why do I mention it? Because in some years, the quadranted meteor shower had rates of 150 meteors an hour, and that is under the best of conditions, dark and moonless skies. We also find out that for planets, the planetary show is amazing as we move into January of this year, 2023, because all of the major planets are in the evening sky, some easily visible and some not. We begin just after sunset, and if your skies are clear during this period in early January, the goddess of love and beauty herself, the planet Venus, is easy to see with the naked eye. The planet Mercury lurks very close also. But moving to the left along the zodiac path, we come to the bright planet Saturn, and that's easy to see with the naked eye. Continuing to the left along the zodiac path, we would come to the planet Neptune, a planet that's not visible to the naked eye, but nonetheless in our evening skies too. And then the sky show gets better. Continue to the left along the zodiac, and you'll come to Jupiter, the god of gods, or Zeus. Easy to see, bright, best in binoculars and a telescope. And then following the zodiac as we continue to count down all of the major 7 planets, and of course the Earth you're standing on, that's number 8. You come to Uranus, an object that requires a pair of binoculars or a telescope to be seen, discovered by the astronomer William Herschel back on the evening of March the 13th of 1781. And then finally, the brilliant planet Mars, the red god of war, easy to see, high up into the eastern part of the sky, and nearly overhead by around 11 p.m. local time. How about this? Some interesting conjunctions of objects in the sky, we call them planets and the moon. Look low into the southwestern sky on the evening of January the 22nd. The goddess of love and beauty Venus will come to conjunction with Saturn by less than a half a degree in the sky, in the early evening sky. Don't miss it. And we find out another amazing thing will happen on the 31st. But for many observers, this might also happen on January the 30th. Check more information on the World Wide Web to learn about precise times. What I'm talking about is the second appearance of where the moon will cover up or eclipse or occult the red god of war, the planet Mars. In many calendars, it looks like that'll happen on the night of the 30th, but as we move into the morning of the 31st, you'll have to check your observation. Simply go on the World Wide Web and check this out as you look to what we call an occultation of the planet Mars. And also check the Dr. Sky blog here at wabcradio.com for more information and details on this amazing event. We love your emails. It's simply drskyshow@gmail.com. That's DRSKY show@gmail.com, as I'm your navigator on the highway to the heavens as we continue to talk with Frank Morano on the other side of midnight, and privileged and honored to be with John Katzimatidis on the Cats at Night program and the weekend Cats Review with great guests, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, from around the world, newsmakers, important newsmakers that make up the great show that we have here on WABC. Once again, always remember to keep your eyes to the skies, as I'm simply your navigator on the highway to the heavens on Talk Radio 77, WABC, the crown jewel of radio, the iconic Talk Radio 77, WABC. Clear skies, health, and happiness to all as we move rapidly into the year 2023.